Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Good to see everybody here. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. Let's see who we have in the house this morning. Mr. Leo Lustig, my man. Crypto Frank, good morning. He said, morning all. This stream is my go-to before my morning meetings. Dude, appreciate you, buddy. Rud Puts, good to see you, buddy. Hey, the EU actually approved a Bitcoin ETF, or spot Bitcoin ETF, rather. Howdy, Mr. Yeti. What's going on, DJ Mines? I wasn't sure if you were playing last night, by the way. Let me know when you play. Just hit me up, because I didn't see you live, actually. I don't know if you went live or not. Alan the King, good to see you, buddy. Bitmain to reveal groundbreaking Antminer S21 at 2023 World Digital Mining Summit. Where did they say that? Interesting. S21, huh? Interesting. So if you guys don't know, the S19J Pro and S19Js, like, they are Bitcoin miners. So the S21 sounds quite interesting. Steven Cicero, good to see you. Conda Bits, Dom G, Ovalbore Tech, good to see you guys. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Ziege Miner, I see you in the house. Tim, I am Crypto, good to see you. All right, let's get into this. So we're gonna see what the market looks like today. 29,354. We have Ethereum 1839. Let's see, what is LTC at? LTC still in the 80s, so 81. We have Doge 7.5 cents. That hasn't changed much. XRP 62. Honestly, that stuff has really been just kind of in the same area, realistically, in the same area. CASP is down 13.7% on the week. Geez, look at this. So this is Crypto Bubbles. Let's go to the day. Let's see what we got. XBAR and Rune are the two that are up today. And we also have, what did I just say? XBAR, XRD, that's what I meant to say. What the hell am I smoking? Radix, XRD, man. Anyways, 11.1%. We have HBAR over here. That was kind of a mix between those two. 8.4. Then we have Ton coin. Man, Ton coin, that thing, I talked about this yesterday when I saw it. It's kind of weird. This thing fell off and then all of a sudden now it's coming back. But CASP has taken quite a little bit of a shit, huh? That's kind of crazy. All right, Fear and Greed Index, we're at 53. That screen is bright as hell, and I apologize. I just didn't mean to do that. All right, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, top 10 coins by coin market cap. We have BNB, XRP, USD Coin, Lido Staked Ether. We have Dogecoin, Cardano, and Solana. Litecoin is down at 15th place. Damn, and Toncoin's creeping up on it. Interesting. Very, very curious, that is. All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to add me in the chat. I am feeling like crap this morning, I'm not gonna lie. Charlie Lynn posted about the S21. Interesting. Okay, so it was on Twitter, I assume. Send me that. Mr. Patrick Murphy. No Absolutely not. All right, let's get into this. So this is CNBC television. SEC delays decision on ARK 21 share spot Bitcoin ETF. This is a crypto world. Let's go. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Without further ado, let's dive into this. The link for this full video is in the description below as well if you're interested. Let's do it.
Today, XRP's price settles after a glitch over the weekend. The SEC delays making a decision on a spot Bitcoin ETF. And Paneet Singhvi of Citi walks us through the current crypto strategy for institutions. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Kate Rooney. The crypto market holding steady through the weekend and into Monday morning. By noon Eastern, Bitcoin held above $29,000. Ether is still traded around $18.50 and XRP is trading around 63 cents. That's back to normal after a momentary glitch over the weekend sent the token's market cap soaring to trillions of dollars. A possible mistaken trade was filed at $50 on Gemini's exchange, which temporarily inflated prices.
Hold on. All right, just wanted to show you guys this. So I just went to Bitmain's website right there. Oh, damn it. Right there it says Antminer 21 series launch September 22nd to the 23rd. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. So that's the World Digital Mining Summit 2023. Interesting. I'll look a little bit more into this while you guys are watching Crypto World.
Okay, let's talk about some of the top stories. Sam Bankman-Fried is now in jail after a judge revoked his bail on Friday. A judge sided with federal prosecutors who claimed Bankman-Fried engaged in witness tampering. In the ruling, the judge concluded that there was, quote, probable cause to believe the defendant tried to tamper with witnesses at least twice. Prosecutors said that over the past several months, SBF sent more than 100 emails and made more than 1,000 calls to members of the press Now he's been placed in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn,
Oh, he's such
a
an
facility
idiot.
with limited internet access and reports of poor conditions. Next up, the SEC.
Real quick, if Aru's here, I don't know if he is, but there you go. There's your proof. He is in jail.
Just delayed its decision on a spot Bitcoin ETF from ARK and 21 shares. The agency was due to issue a decision on the proposed ETF on August 13th, but pushed that decision back weeks to months while it sought public comment. This proposal actually came before the latest wave of ETF applications from the likes of BlackRock, Fidelity, and more. Optimism has been growing that these will get approved thanks to surveillance partnerships with Coinbase to address concerns of market manipulation. Last, Senator Cynthia Lummis has stepped into the court battle between the SEC and Coinbase. The Wyoming senator filed an amicus brief with the Southern District of New York on Friday, dismissing the idea that the SEC can, quote, legislate by enforcement. Lummis said that while the SEC seeks broad authority over crypto, most bills in Congress would actually spread regulation out amongst other authorities. Lummis's filing comes at the same time several legal scholars from around the U.S. and crypto lobbying groups also filed amicus briefs with the court in support of Coinbase. All right, on to our main story. Last week, Crypto World's Tanea McKeel stopped by the Access Digital Assets Summit in New York. She got the chance to sit down with Puneet Singhvi. He's the head of digital assets for Citi's institutional client group. The two of them spoke about the strategy for
Is that Citibank? Is that what you're talking about, I assume?
big-time investors.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Tell me what it's like for institutions trying to get access to the crypto market right now, and how has appetite shifted recently?
I mean, when you think about institutional market, like asset managers, for example, while there has been a slowdown in terms of their engagement, but they continue to get engaged broadly in digital asset space through pilots, through building baseline capabilities. We do see a shift where more away from price action to actually thinking about how tokenization, how DLT could help them in kind of day-to-day processes in the financial markets, be it operational efficiency, be it from a capital collateral perspective, or from distribution perspective. So suddenly the thinking definitely this year has been much broader and actually looking at how this technology could impact financial markets on an ongoing basis. From Citi perspective, also kind of we going with where clients are, so engaged with clients such as large institutional asset managers, with corporates, and assessing what kind of services they might need as part of that journey.
For a long time, retail investors were sort of in the driver's seat for crypto. Right now, they're on the sidelines, and institutions seem to be the ones to watch. Do you think that that narrative holds up as we look for the next bull runs? Are retail investors going to take the reins back, or do you think institutions are paying enough attention now that they'll be the ones driving the market?
Yeah, it's difficult to say. Kind of my role covers the institutional side, not so much the retail side. But on the institutional side, I'm sure the adoption will be cautious, will be thoughtful, and will take kind of slow and steady steps. And I think that'll be true for the client base which we have, as well as the bank sector, the financial sector, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Is there any value in altcoins to institutions after last year, or is it just Bitcoin only, maybe Ethereum?
I think kind of future really is looking at the core financial markets and seeing financial markets are very vast. They have going through the whole process of digitization as core part of evolution over the years. So where we really see is looking at traditional financial markets, look at bonds, look at equities, look at collateral, and how we can drive next level of efficiency using this technology. So it's really not so much on kind of any activity which is happening in the fringe, but actually activity which is happening in the core, which could be impactful for the financial markets in the long run. So we definitely focus on that as the primary area where we're devoting time and effort.
What exactly is that impact of DLT or blockchain technology on finance?
You know, I mean, digitization can happen through many ways. Now, as the technology evolves, now we have two more options, which is tokenization and use of DLT. To accelerate digitization, reduce friction. What is unique about tokenization when you hear about this broad theme of tokenization? It's a very broadly defined, broadly used term. Which could be just use of DLT as registry to maintain books and records, to native issuances which exist only on a DLT platform. But what's very unique about this whole component of this technology is that you could actually have value stored, the information about the value stored, and the transfer of that information value happen much more seamlessly in a distributed fashion. So I find that very fascinating in terms of how that could apply. Could it apply to drive next level of operational efficiencies, post-trade processes? Could it apply to actually make collateral markets much more efficient? Financial system uses significant amount of collateral. They typically have buffers spread around. Could we actually make collateral process much more seamless? So what about fractionalization? And people do talk about it. Bond market, and typically the face value is very large. If the investors need to invest in it, could it be a fractionalized version of bonds available? So we do see a lot of opportunities which span across the product line and the lines of business. Money and tokenized money and programmable money is another theme. Citi, along with a number of institutions, actually announced with the Federal Reserve Bank of New York Innovation Center recently on a POC called Regulated Liability Network, where you can have all form of sovereign money across multiple actors be on the same platform, and maybe could drive next level of efficiency from the money movement. So we do see both on the asset side and on the money side opportunities which could drive next level of efficiency as well as innovation.
So historically, the idea of tokenization using blockchain technology has been more about cost cutting rather than revenue driving. Has that changed?
Great question. Like, it's definitely efficiency is given, because that's the core component of a distributed technology like this, where you can take reconciliations out, depict assets better, depict money better. But as we do that, could there be new opportunities to create new products and services for clients? Quite possible. Cross-border flows and transactions. Currently, they might not be 24/7. They might not be as instant as we want them to be. Our effort is kind of, can we leverage this technology and continue to identify ways in which we can drive much more innovative payment mechanisms than what we currently have. On the asset side, there's been work always looking at how funds get distributed, and can fund distribution could improve where you have wider access to it. So fractionalization would be, I would consider, as an innovative product because it's enhancing distribution. As we have programmable money, Internet of Things, as many of these things collide and money becomes embedded in many of the commerce-related processes. Again, that's pretty innovative and really enabled by the technology.
All right, that's it for Crypto World today.
Nice. All right. Sorry. I honestly didn't listen to any of that. I apologize. But hopefully you guys got something out of it. All right. I was looking up this Bitmain thing. So let me grab this entire thing. And Joker Miner, I already put the flight sheet on your farm while we were listening to that. All right. So right here, this is, what the hell was it? Right here. This is what we got for the S21 Antminer that's going to be released. It says 210 terahashes, 3,150 watts. I don't know if this is good. 15J/terahash. I don't know. Is this good? Is this bad? Who knows? Let me know in the chat. That's all I found. That's all I found. But there was, I mean, there's a bunch of just random shit just Googling it. But look at this. So like this Antminer S21 Pro Bitcoin miner, it says 7 grand, 250 terahashes. Is this water cooled, I assume? That's kind of what it looks like. This picture is complete shit. But I assume, I don't know why they put it in front of the Mount Everest or whatever that is. I don't even know. But regardless, I can barely see it, but it looks like, oh, actually, you know, let me see, zoom in maybe. I think this is water cooled, this one. Yeah, I can't zoom in. Does not work. Does not work. Let's see. Oh yeah, no, nope, doesn't let you get any closer. Anyways, but yeah, this one's probably water cooled, but regardless, nonetheless, it says 250 terahashes. Again, this one over here, 210, 3,150 watts. Is that good or bad? Let me know. That's amazing. Is it? All right, good. I'm glad it's amazing because I have no idea. I don't have a Bitcoin S19J Pro or anything. Real quick. So this means the Antminer S21 Pro model can mine approximately 676.2 worth of BTC per month at the current BTC price of $29,400. Oh, wow. That's pretty good. Hash rate 250. Estimated BTC mined per month is 0.023, which is very good. Does it say how much this unit's going to be though? How much is it? Oh, right here. Antminer S21. It says $5,800. and $7,000 for the S21 Pro. Oh, wow. Interesting. Let me see. Shop. Does it say S21 listed? Sorry, getting off track a little bit, guys. I want to, we'll finish getting into the news in a second. I just want to see if this thing is listed here anywhere. S21, because it's a big deal. Pretty cool. I don't think it is. I don't think it is, but anyways, all right, that's what you got. Oh, didn't mean to click on that. Shit. Nope, not doing that. Cancel. So yeah, Bitmain to reveal groundbreaking Antminer S21 at 2023 World Digital Mining Summit, even though it's already leaked. I don't understand. What do you mean they're gonna announce it? They already gave away all the specs if it's legit. All right, anyways, let's so this was a couple days ago on this is Kathy Wood about the SEC approving more than one Bitcoin ETF. I think it's just important to kind of listen to it. So let's go into this and then we'll just kind of get into a few other topics. Let's do it.
So you are in this race. Let's talk about the race a little bit. The first important deadline coming up is August 13th, where the ARC filing, the SEC is either going to delay it, which we think they'll probably delay it, and then BlackRock is later. You filed before BlackRock, but BlackRock came in with the surveillance sharing agreement with Coinbase. That was novel, right? Now we're looking in the future. There's talk of a common clock where the SEC could approve a bunch of ETFs at once, putting you on a level playing field with BlackRock and others. What's your take on how this will play out, given you filed earlier?
I think you're probably right that August 13th will come and go, and I think the SEC, if it's going to approve a Bitcoin ETF, will approve more than one at once. So then, again, because most of these essentially will be the same, and it will come down to marketing, communicating the message. You know, we've been putting out our Bitcoin monthly for the last year. We are now starting a Bitcoin brainstorming session. Our first one we launched last Thursday. So we're trying to get the word out there that you know, our research is deep. And we've been doing it since 2015 when we gained our first exposure to GBTC. We were the first public asset manager to gain exposure to Bitcoin at all in 2015.
So this Kathy Wood is super bullish on Bitcoin, like predicting $1 million per Bitcoin by 2030.
That's exactly where I want to go. The Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, known by its ticker GBTC. If you look at ARKW, for example, your ARK Next Generation Internet ETF, right now I see GBTC as the third largest holding. If we are in a situation where the SEC does give its blessing for a spot Bitcoin ETF, would you plan to sell out of GBTC and buy one of these physically backed funds?
I cannot talk about what we would and would not do, and in fact, our compliance team is, you know, giving us marching orders not to talk very much about this filing and its aftermath at all. So, just the fact that we filed with our partner 21 shares is as far as I can go.
Interesting. All right, let's yeah, so good question. Mr. Arthman 2 says, did we discuss this yet? But no, I do have it up. So first EU spot Bitcoin ETF hits Euronext Amsterdam exchange. So apparently they have just approved this this EU spot Bitcoin ETF that was supposed to be, I guess, approved a year ago. The London-based digital asset management firm announced its new investment product was going live on the Euronext Amsterdam Stock Exchange on August 15th, more than a year later than its planned launch in 2022. So if anybody is in the EU, that's kind of a big milestone, at least in my my opinion. It says, as previously reported by Cointelegraph, the offering was touted as a first spot or physical backed Bitcoin fund that would allow investors to gain exposure to the financial product that is physically backed by BTC. The new exchange traded fund ETF is set to trade under the Bitcoin ticker, while the product was approved by the Guernsey Financial Services Commission back in October 2021. As reported by Blockworks, Fidelity Digital Assets will handle the custodial elements of the Bitcoin ETF. Interesting. So if you guys are in the EU, that's a big milestone. Congratulations. That's awesome. Hopefully that is good news for some of you guys here. All right, let's talk about this, or let's listen to Judge revokes bail on Sam Bankman-Fried's putting that little shit in jail, I guess. So let's hear what they got to say here.
Crypto exchange co-founder Sam Bankman-Fried is now heading to jail immediately. A judge revoked his bail and ordered him into custody, saying the FTX co-founder had engaged in witness tampering. Well, joining me now is CNBC's technology reporter Mackenzie Sagalos. So, Mackenzie, basically, they want him to stop having access to a computer, right?
I mean, that's part of it. So one of the big points of
they sent him to a jail with computers, by the way.
Contention was where he would actually be remanded into custody.
Ridiculous.
The government had already had conversations with Putnam, which is a jail facility that would still give him access to a laptop with an internet connection, because the big question here is...
Hold on, if you're going to jail, aren't they supposed to take away all your privileges? They're like, oh, we're going to put you in jail, but here's a laptop so you can still do whatever you're doing.
Whether he would be able to adequately prepare for trial, access discovery documents, and the government wanted to ensure that that was possible, while also putting into place a lot of safeguards that were necessary to avoid the kind of witness tampering that they alleged has been happening the last few months.
And that, I mean, I saw a specific was they think he leaked documents to a reporter?
And that's not even a question. So, yes, lawyers for the defense acknowledged that that had indeed happened, but they were arguing that this was, a First Amendment right. The judge came out to say that if even part of that motivation had to do with hurting a witness or trying to affect the outcome, then it was considered a felony. It was certainly grounds the judge deemed to revoke bail.
Well, as you know, in my political beat, the issue of witness tampering and discovery being leaked is part of another situation with the former president. So it's interesting that this is the way this judge reacted here. Is there any chance he could get back into the judge's good graces and get back into his Stanford campus home confinement?
So, it was actually I was in the courtroom today and then just hopped over to 30 Rock. But this ruling was a 33-minute explanation from the judge. The entire hearing took about 90 minutes. The judge repeatedly said positive things about Cohen, who is the attorney representing Sam Bankman-Fried, and the effort that he was making. But it just seemed that he was quite sure of the position that he had. The defense team requested that they stay the ruling until they could have an appeal considered in the court. That was denied by the judge. And again, it was a very respectful exchange. He just acknowledged the fact that he didn't feel the defense had an adequate argument to make here. And
this was a request from the prosecution?
So it was a request from the prosecution to it was a request from the prosecution to jail him, yes. And then the defense was saying we're open to just a more stringent set of terms around his home arrest.
When do we expect this trial to begin?
Well, at this point, October 2nd. And the judge explicitly asked the defense today whether or not they wanted to, seek an adjournment or extend out that trial date. They said that at this point, they're not looking to do that. So everything is still on track.
Well, one would assume now that he's in jail, he may want his trial to start sooner rather than later.
Right. That's like 2 months away.
Mackenzie Sagalos for CNBC. I know it's a busy day. Again, the old Friday news dumps all over the country, keeping those of us not on vacation working. Anyway. Mackenzie, thank you.
All right. Yeah, she did look a little strung out in that episode. Kind of crazy. All right. Let's listen to this. So crypto's becoming a political powerhouse. If you guys haven't noticed this recently with all the politicians and pro crypto or anti crypto, but it seems like the pro crypto stuff is kind of going in a, I guess, turn for the right direction for political parties, I guess. But I don't know what they're really going to talk about here, but let's listen to it because it's going to be interesting.
What's your read really on the progress that has actually been made here?
I think that we continue to be locked in a pattern that, frankly, we've been locked in since the start of regulation of crypto or attempts to regulate crypto, which is we see one position from the SEC, which is regulation by enforcement. Nowhere has it really been established what assets are considered securities and which are not. And even in the two Ripple rulings we've seen, which were not even a month apart, we have dramatically different interpretations. And again, the conclusion we come to, and I think in that clip you just showed from Mike Novogratz, who says the exact same thing, the only way that we get clarity is not through these piecemeal regulation by enforcement steps we've seen, but through clear regulatory guidance. And that, in my view, at this stage can only come from Congress. Now, you're in the swamp, you know, we're coming up on shutdown, we're coming up on an election year. Yep. There are a number of bills on the floor in Congress that are bipartisan in nature, but the clock is really running out in terms of timeline to get these things through the process.
How should the community react, or how should the community act, I guess, if we don't get clear and concise regulation from Congress? Because that seems like a really big ask, Meltem.
It is a big ask. It has been a big ask. It continues to be a big ask. I think there are two important things to keep in mind here. Number one, crypto has gone from being a small, aligned community to being a global industry with different perspectives, and frankly, companies and projects in the space might have somewhat different goals. As a result, we've seen a number of different PACs and different trade associations forming, attempting to gather resources to use their collective power to lobby and to deploy capital to getting candidates elected that are going to take action, that share their perspectives maybe on the direction that regulation and policy needs to go. So I think crypto is becoming a political powerhouse. It is an important part of the DC ecosystem. And I think in this cycle, we'll continue to see a lot of campaign contributions going from players in the crypto space, crypto-specific PACs to specific candidates. And number two, I think at a certain point, right, we cannot continue this stalemate. At the end of the day, this is an important geopolitical issue as well. We see strides being made in other parts of the world that do have clearer guidance. We see economic activity flowing there. So at some point, I do think this becomes a matter of national interest, a matter of economic interest to ensure that America remains competitive.
Meltem, we only have about a minute left, but you just mentioned the stalemate in terms of policy. It also feels like we're at a little bit of a stalemate in terms of actual activity in crypto markets. What are you seeing?
Apathy, we're trading sideways. At the end of the day, what we look at CoinShares is flows. If we look at flows into crypto products that are publicly listed and publicly traded this year, as of 2 weeks ago, we saw about $750 million of inflows on the year. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen outflows as a result of investors taking profit. And really, we're still very much in a risk-off environment. At the end of the day, the story is all about flows. You have to look at the data, you have to look at the numbers. And right now, the flows are telling the story that investors are taking risk off the table. We're looking to see what's going to happen in the next FOMC meeting and what the macro environment looks like ahead. And I think only then will we see more flows.
For sure.
Well,
didn't mean to click on that. Anyways, yeah, so what do you guys think, actually? Do you think that the whole, like, political parties being for crypto, do you think they're just using it as, like, a positive on their end, or do you think they're just kind of, I don't know, actually into crypto? I honestly don't know what to believe with some of these politicians, but whatever. I'm not really a big political guy. Anyways, all right, let's get into Altcoin Daily. It started. This man predicted everything, what comes next. So this is actually pretty interesting. I didn't get to fully listen to the whole thing, but I listened to something about this, what's it called? This guy that predicts everything, I think over on Coin Bureau the other day, if I'm not mistaken. But without further ado, let's get into this. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Let's do it.
Breaking news in markets today involving billionaire investor Michael Burry of Big Short fame.
I want to short the housing market.
As of today, Michael Burry has opened massive leveraged short positions on the stock market, meaning 93% of Michael Burry's portfolio is currently short market indices. The last time he made a big bet like this was with the famous 08 recession prediction.
If you're not familiar already, Michael Burry is a famous investor whose credibility mainly stems from his well-known prediction of the 08 housing crash in the United States, and where he shorted the mortgage bond market because he knew the bubble would eventually burst, mainly caused by subprime mortgages. This bet alone produced Burry with over $100 million of personal profits for himself and $700 million for his investors from his hedge fund.
You must have been pretty confident that this thing was going to blow up.
Well, we had a giant bet for us, and I was extremely confident in the outcome.
And this is not a joke. Michael Burry has just shorted the market with $1.6 billion. Specifically, he bought $890 million worth of puts against the S&P 500 and $740 million worth of puts against the NASDAQ. This now makes up 93% of his entire portfolio. Jeez. And Michael Burry has been correct in his calls multiple times, not just the 08 housing crisis. For example, back in 2021, near the top of the bull market, Michael Burry tweeted this: "People always ask me what is going on in the markets. It is simple. Greatest speculative bubble of all time in all things by 2 orders of magnitude. Hashtag Flying Pigs 360. Now, he has gotten calls wrong in the past as well. Nobody's perfect. Back at the end of last year, he tweeted, early 2002, investors were asking me why I wasn't buying WorldCom. Feels like that right now. Meaning after the internet bubble popped, people were asking him, hey, why not buy these internet stocks? When in reality, the internet bubble markets would continue to go down, Michael signaling that markets still have a ways to go. Of course, we know that markets only went up in 2023. Michael Burry would go on to retract his statement, saying a few months into this year, I was wrong to say sell. But today, it's not just lip service. He has truly put his money where his mouth is and shorted the market today with much more money than he ever made back in his 2008 recession call.
So you made a ton of money?
Made a ton of money, much more than I ever imagined, I'd ever have.
Were your clients grateful?
I think a lot of clients were just glad to be done with it.
Even though they doubled their money?
Well, we made $725 million, I think.
And if you're invested in markets, crypto market, the stock market, this begs the question, what's next? Because we know that for months, Michael Burry, back in 2008, 07, had a successful hunch. He knew that the housing market was about to collapse. Yet, it did take much longer than he expected.
The bonds aren't going down. They won't move.
Well, answering the question, what's next? When do they expire? What's the timeline on this prediction? It's not clear how Burry's recent options bets have fared, given that regulatory filings do not require the disclosure of option strikes, purchase prices, and expiration dates, meaning we do not know right now when those expire. And it's also not clear whether the puts were held outright or part of a larger trade that involved other contracts that might have been sold short. I am still searching, I'm still looking for that information. And although Scion Asset Management, Michael Burry's fund, did not respond to a request for comment, we know this information because their positions were reported in their quarterly filings known as 13Fs, which show its holdings at the end of the most recent quarter and may not reflect current positions. So while yes, backwards looking, these filings are one of the few ways that investors can see the positions of institutional investors such as hedge funds. Again, most channels will just give you the hype. I'll give you all the information. But looking at Michael Burry's put calls combined with what Congress is doing, and by the way, we have this information due to the Stock Trading on Congressional Knowledge Act, which requires U.S. senators and U.S. representatives to publicly file and disclose any financial transaction within 45 days of its occurrence. And as of a few days ago, the politicians appear to be turning bearish. Transaction totals in the last 90 days, $12.5 million of buys, while over $23 million, almost double, of sells. 2 politicians even went as far as actively shorting the market, something to keep an eye on.
The Insider just completed a 5-month investigation finding that 49 members of Congress and 182 senior congressional staffers have violated the Stock Act, the insider trading law. I'm wondering if you have any reaction to that, and secondly, should members of Congress and their spouses be banned from trading individual stocks while serving in Congress?
No, I don't know to the second one. We have a responsibility to report in the stock. On the stock, but I'm not familiar with that 5-month review, but if people aren't reporting, they should be. Because this is a free market and we're a free market economy, they should be able to participate in that.
Now we're still waiting on data of what Buffett is doing. Warren Buffett will drop his new 13F on companies Berkshire Hathaway was buying next week, i.e. this week. But with crypto right now heavily affected by traditional markets, any dip may make an incredible buying opportunity. And it's not just me saying it. Think of what the gold price did since the gold ETF launch. Many people consider Bitcoin like a digital gold. And remember, back in 2004, the first gold ETF was listed for the first time ever on the stock exchange.
And look at it.
It was a huge on-ramp for investors, and the price obviously exploded.
If you want to see this happen to Bitcoin, hit that like button, will you?
Exploded after.
That's amazing.
And while the SEC yesterday just delayed ARK Invest's spot Bitcoin ETF. Even Jay Clayton, the former chair of the SEC, is on record that a Bitcoin ETF soon is not a matter of if, but when.
The landscape for Bitcoin and retail access to Bitcoin has definitely changed. Let's just look at where we are today. When I was SEC chair, was very skeptical of the Bitcoin trading markets. And whether you believe Bitcoin...
And while we've seen so much fraud...
I'm going to find this interview right here.
In crypto in these last few years, well, that's people, the fraud. It's not crypto.
The crypto markets... The crypto markets, okay, were rife with fraud.
But not crypto itself.
Crypto's a technology. Okay? It is a technology.
People so conflate the two and argue that crypto itself is a Ponzi scheme.
Right. But clearly distributed ledger technology is a technology that people have found efficiency in. Go back to the legislative efforts. We've talked about stablecoin before. There is little doubt that stablecoin is a very efficient way to transfer dollars around the globe.
So cryptocurrency is not going away. In fact, major companies, Coca-Cola, just unveiled their masterpiece NFT collection on Ethereum Layer 2 base. As you can see, this features both classic and modern artworks combined with the Coca-Cola brand. So again, the price of any asset fluctuates, but looking at fundamentals, looking at the building, the use going on, it's undeniable.
Wait.
Be sure to join us.
I'm kind of confused about that whole thing. I didn't hear about that at all, this whole Coca-Cola thing. So Warren Buffett is a huge, Bitcoin's a scam guy, right? He owns, a shit ton of Coca-Cola. He owns, half the company, at least. If I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty positive he owns at least half the company, and he's getting into NFTs. I mean, he clearly had a say in that. That's kind of interesting. That's really interesting, actually. Anyways, shout out to Mr. Austin over at Altcoin Daily. I want to find that. What was that? What was he listening to? Squawk Box? Let me see. This is CNBC. All right, let me see if I can find this interview because I want to see what he was saying over there. Let's see. All right. What do you guys have for questions? Oh, actually, you know what? Real quick, before we go any further, Mr. Financial Failure is, congratulations for one on the 1K subs. I was going to try to sub bomb you this morning, but guys, this is Financial Failure. He has a bunch of videos over here on his channel, and he's doing a crypto giveaway. He actually announced it in the post your section stuff in Discord. So I'm going to put this in the live chat. If you guys aren't subbed to him, go sub to him. For one, congratulations on the 1K subs, man. Happy for you. And this is the video right here. Let me see. Everything on Ballot Wallet review / how-to. So this video, I'm going to copy the link. He says he's giving it away, giving something away. I don't know. I think it's Bitcoin or something, but he's going to be doing a giveaway. So just comment #Ballot Wallet on that video. And this is that video link. So first one was his channel. If you guys aren't, oh, Greater Good already won. He already won. All right, when the hell did you give it away? Hawk just told me about it last night. Well, congratulations to Greater Good. Anyways, that's the video he wanted you to comment on. I guess I'm a day late and $1 short. I apologize, but go check out Financial Failure. I'm sure more will come. So let's yeah, that's that. This morning, dude, what the hell? What time do you get up, bro? It's 9 a.m. You already pulled a winner? You crazy son of a bitch. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. No big deal. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that because Mr. Hawk told me about it last night. Let's see. All right, so this is it.
Yes.
22 hours ago. Yeah, let's listen to this. Hell yeah. So this is the former SEC chair, Jay Clayton. Let's hear what he has to say. This is kind of interesting. I'll put a link to this also in the description below so you guys can find the whole video if you want. All right, let's listen to it.
The SEC has postponed its decision on the ARK Bitcoin ETF, marking another setback in the prolonged effort to allow direct trading of crypto assets on traditional U.S. markets. Joining us now is Jay Clayton, former chair of the SEC and a CNBC contributor. You know, I was trying to, I've been on vacation, so I'm like a little woozy, but I'm trying to remember the last politicians we had on, and they had all kinds of plans to pass all kinds of stuff, and there was one from the one party, one from the other party. They were together. They were writing stuff. Anything going on? Anything happen? This isn't going to happen again. It's just more of the same, Jay.
Well, look, the SEC postponed the decision, but they are seeking public comment. And the landscape for Bitcoin and retail access to Bitcoin has definitely changed. And let's just look at where we are today. When I was SEC chair, was very skeptical of the Bitcoin trading markets. And whether you believe Bitcoin is going to go to whatever or dry up and go away, I think that's no longer the question.
I so hope he shits on Gary Gensler in this little interview here.
You had Russ Benham on. He was talking about it's clearly a commodity. It should be regulated like a commodity. We have large retail participation around the globe, and people want access to it. Now, what do we have? We have very credible financial institutions who have fiduciary duties of best interest to their customers, who are saying, we want to deliver this product, and we can do so consistent with those obligations. Last thing you have is you actually have the futures ETF trading, which we all know is an inefficient product. So my assessment looking at all of that is let's get some public comment, and then let's move on and have a spot Bitcoin ETF.
So is it a stretch to say, okay, there are securities like equities, and then there were places like First Jersey or Stratton Oakmont, or take your pick of these fly-by-night bucket shop operations, and that's akin to SBF and maybe
look the crypto markets.
FTX.
The crypto markets, okay, were rife with fraud,
but not crypto itself.
Crypto's a technology. Okay, it is a technology.
People still conflate the two and argue that crypto itself is a Ponzi scheme.
This guy right here actually likes Bitcoin, by the way, even though he's like kind of pushing back a little bit.
But clearly distributed ledger technology is a technology that people have found efficiency in. Go back to the legislative efforts. We've talked about stablecoin before. There is little doubt that stablecoin is a very efficient way to transfer dollars around the globe. Can it be done in compliance with our AML, KYC, and other, what I would say is macroprudential and national security laws? Yes, it can be. It can be done. We're talking about a digital dollar. So is the technology a good technology for some uses? Pretty clearly, yes.
Well, then, what's the problem then? Or you don't think it's going to be a problem much longer? Do you think Gary Gensler believes that what you just said?
Well, we did, in this administration, approve a futures ETF for Bitcoin. So
boo Gensler, boo that guy. Hey, by the way, Geek of All Trades is in the chat, and he's doing a interview today with Mr. Dan Keller. If you guys have any questions for Dan Keller, or if you want to know anything about Flux, put it in the live chat, or you guys can DM Mr. Geek of All Trades, by the way. Just wanted to give you guys a little heads up on that. He should have a video coming out in the next couple of days with it.
That's already there.
But if that's inefficient and actually part of the problem, then why the dragging of the feet on the spot?
Well, look, anything like this where you've had a history of really bad behavior, you do want to move slowly, and you can see that in Congress. And look, we live in a very political. I would say what percentage of this program actually touches on politics? A fair amount. Like, what is the political response to various things going to be? Yeah. When you have a fraudster like Sam Bankman-Fried, who was deeply intertwined in politics, people will want to take a pause.
Right. So when we decide to try and sing a song together, the only one we can sing is probably the Star Spangled Banner, because she's so, from such a different generation. Should she be? She's got plenty of time. She's young. Should she be thinking about buying 4% bonds, or would you recommend she buy some Bitcoin, Jay? I mean, what would you tell Kelly Evans to do at this point?
What would I tell Kelly Evans? Diversify. That's what I would say. Diversify.
I'm kidding when I say don't buy a 2-year note, buy Bitcoin. Sort of kidding.
He's not kidding.
I'm sort of kidding.
He's not kidding.
But, as you know.
Let's be clear. Bitcoin should not be a dominant portion of any investor's portfolio, okay?
Boo this man. Boo you. All right, Jay?
I guess
bastard.
Can I just rewind for a second? So I like what you said, how Bitcoin is a technology, right? And there are let's separate that from the asset class. Has the SEC made a giant muddle, though, of this asset class? And how do we unmuddle it? Right? If you could just start from now. I mean, what's okay, what's not okay? And I like what you said about, at this point, okay, then just have the spot Bitcoin ETF, because what are we doing here? But so many of the players, and in the way that Coinbase, I mean, how do you feel about Coinbase's whole approach, where they're basically like, no, we're just going to come, you want to slap us with a Wells notice? We're just going to come out swinging. Okay. I mean, there's so many extraordinary things happening in this space.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's go with where it started.
Well, Coinbase is awesome, by the way, for putting like not just being pushed around, because that's like the biggest, thing. When you just cave in, they're gonna run all over you. You can't do that. You gotta at least they're standing their ground, and they've done what's proper, at least in their mind, and at least all of ours. I mean, I would think so, anyways.
So you made a mull of it. We had people take this technology and try to evade our time-tested securities laws.
Absolutely.
And our time-tested securities laws are incredibly rigorous, incredibly burdensome. To make a public offering in the United States, you have to go through many hurdles, much disclosure.
And Coinbase has done all of
you
that.
You have to have audited financial statements. They wanted to evade all of that. Okay? The SEC did a good job putting a stop to that.
ICOs, you cracked down on
ICOs, cracked down. Okay. And now the question is, there are things out there that are not securities. Bitcoin is one of them. Others, we talk about tickets. We talk about things that can trade in a market. We have to catch up on how we treat those in terms of secondary.
Look like? So that's why the Ripple ruling was so interesting.
Yeah.
So what's what's going to be a commodity? What's going to be a security? Who's going to? Do you still feel like we have the right tools and are approaching this the right way? And
raising capital for a future product is a security. It's that simple, right? You come to me and you say, hey, Jay, give me money. I'm going to go off and build a network. I'm going to go off and build a production. I'm going to go off and do these things. And you're going to get a return as a result. That's pretty clearly a security. But something that is for use today, time on a server, going to a play, that Bitcoin, now that's completely decentralized, that is not a security. The lines, I think the lines are actually pretty clear.
So Coinbase is going to get in trouble not because they had Bitcoin, but because they had all of the other stuff.
Well, and one thing that is, I know this is, it's very tedious.
Technical, yeah,
it's very technical.
Ridiculous.
But there's a big difference when people talk about crypto between raising capital, you coming to me and saying, give me money.
You guys noticing the people in the background? There's just me. Like, there's always somebody new standing in the back looking at these people.
And providing trading services. We treat the secondary trading of securities, commodities, and other things differently from a regulatory perspective than we do the initial distribution. The rigorous protections around initial distribution are what we focus on, but trading has a different set of rules.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's man, I feel like Coinbase has done pretty much everything that they can that's as proper as they can be anyways, but I don't know. We're gonna have to see what happens with all that shit. But that was a good little interview. I'm glad Mr. Austin over at Altcoin Daily shown that, so we could go find it. That was pretty interesting. Bitcoin finally in green. This thing was gray when I opened it up this morning. All right, well, again, we'll let me show you guys real quick. This is the big news. Let me pull this up. Bitmain to reveal groundbreaking Antminer S21 at 2023 World Digital Mining Summit, which is pretty fantastic. Where is the, let me see, right here. So it says $5,800. You guys could see for the S21. Do you guys think that's a good deal? Do you think that's a good deal? Where are the specs? Right here. S21, we have 210 terahashes, 3,150 watts, 15J/terahash. What does that mean? What does 15J mean? Is that joules or something? What does that mean? I don't even know. I'm just guessing. I have no fucking idea. I don't have any Bitcoin miners, so I've never, what does the J stand for? No idea. Terrible. I take 100. Alan the King. Joule. Okay, it is Joule. I thought it was, but I wasn't sure. But what does that mean? 15 per terahash. What does that mean? Please explain. Somebody explain that to me, because I don't know. At least I was right. Sent you a question. Who sent me a question? Yeti, you sent me a question? Let me see. Who just sent me a question? S19s are going to be super cheap now. They're already super cheap, dude. They're under $1,000. Under $1,000. Kaboom racks. I don't even know how the hell to go. I don't think I can go to that site. I don't know if it works. I can try. Hold on. I think oh man, Backwards Miner just got some Kaboom racks. I think that's the, is that the site? I think. Maybe. It is. There's something weird about this site though. Hold on, let me see. Isn't it like Telegram or something weird? Or maybe it's not. I don't know. Let me see. All right, so you got a sick deal on these S19s. 90 terahash. Where was it? Dude, he paid like $900 per unit. It's freaking insane. Over here at Kaboom Racks. I don't know what they would like use though. He actually put, you know what? Backwards Miner is actually a, let's go to his channel quick. Let's go to his channel quick. Let's see. Backwards Miner. If you guys aren't subbed to him, he's only got 45 subs. We need to get him some subs, guys. If you haven't already, hit the like button in here as well. But if you guys could, go check out Backwards Miner. He's a new YouTuber. Or getting into it. I mean, he's got, this dude is a freaking crazy setup. But look at this. So, boxes to add to the farm. He dropped this last night. And it was kind of interesting.
Got delivery from the boom racks.
Boom racks. They're a bit dirty. They're used, right?
They're a little dirty.
Just slightly, but
clean them up.
Nonetheless, he told me to pay like it's like under $1,000 a piece. I mean, dude, that's a pretty sick deal for these things. I mean, they were going for ridiculous amounts of money in the last bull run, and you're gonna be able to flip those super easy real soon. But I don't know. Let's see. Fully electric chump change. No one should be. Hold on. No one should. Are you trying to say buy? Oh yeah. No one should buy any S19 under 104 terahashes. Hey, teach his own, I guess. Teach his own. I don't have any Bitcoin miners. They're too power hungry to run around here. But nonetheless, guys, the S21 again, 2023 World Summit. I think that's next month. Is it next month? September 22nd to the 23rd. So next month they'll be revealing this. I don't know what they're revealing because all the specs are already out. So hopefully these specs are legit. Where the hell is it? Right here. Hopefully this is legit. If it is, awesome. And hopefully you guys get your hands on one. If you would like 88 to 100 terahash miners, not worth it because of this power consumption. The power consumption and the halving's coming up, right? So everything's going to be chopped in half. So it's going to be even worse than it is. It's like buying an S9 right now. I have an S9, actually. That's the only thing I have, but I haven't ran it. I ran it for like a little bit. That was it. Never got a payout on it, though, ever. Not once. Not once. Oh, my God. Look at that. Yeah, look. It's not bad, right? 210 terahashes, 3150 for wattage. I guess that's pretty good. I would have to compare this, though. I would have to compare this to the other Bitcoin miners to know if it's actually worth it. The S21 Pro is 7,000, and that's this one. Where is it? Yeah, shit. Sorry for blinding you guys. I know it's bright as hell. Where is it? Oh, right here. So this guy, S21 Pro Bitcoin miner. I think this is water cooled, if I'm not mistaken. 3,550 watts, 250 terahashes. So March to April 2024 shipping date. So I'm assuming that's when the other ones will come out too. But yeah, low power mode, probably running at 2,600 watts, 150 terahashes. I would do that. 100% I would do that. That's a good deal, actually. I'm not worried about the power as much. Currently on 3-phase also. Yeah, Backwards Miner's got a sick setup. So he's going to be doing some pretty good things. But all right, guys, that's going to do it. That's it. That's it for today's show. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out. Please hit that like button on the way out. Show YouTube that you actually appreciate this content, and I don't put ads in between in hopes that you guys will hit that like button. So as always, guys, appreciate you all. I'll be back tomorrow morning around 8 a.m. depending on how much news we have, and hopefully you guys have a good day. Enjoy work. I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.